Hey guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over some automotive sales. We're going to go over some training, and we're going to do it in a format that I've really been enjoying lately. It's a segment I call Ask Anthony, where I have real salespeople, some of which I trained, some of which I haven't. Inbox me questions. I read them live. This is organic. I don't see them beforehand, so I don't have anything scripted, and I read them, and I think it makes for a great foundation for some organic conversation and training. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to take a peek. And this is from Rob. This is Rob's second question. We went over another question in a previous video. This is Rob, one of my young wolves, one of my top guys. He's awesome. He's a killer. And Rob says, ask Ant, negative, positive energy, attitude affecting a workday. Rob's heard me talk about this, probably ad nauseum, and I can go on for forever about this. Attitude and energy is everything. It's not something, it's literally everything and anything. For me personally, I would rather have someone with a great attitude and great energy who doesn't have experience, doesn't necessarily have the skills yet, and maybe doesn't even have any natural raw talent, because we can work with that. We can mold that person and we can give them the skills to offset any natural God-given abilities they may not have, right? Because talent is something you're born with and skill is something which you acquire. We can overcome that, but the attitude and the energy is most important. Let's start with a great story that I like. It's a case study that was done, I believe, by Harvard University. Tony Robbins talks about it. Rob, I've taught you this before in our training, and this just talks about how important energy is and how lasting it can be in any type of situation. So the story goes like this. They sent a bunch of college students out into the park. I believe it was Central Park. And they would go up to random people with a cup of coffee. Let's assume it's a hot cup of coffee. They would approach random people and they'd go up to them and they'd also be on their phone. And they would go up to the person and say, yeah, excuse me, can you hold this for me for 1 second? Just hold this for me. And the person would grab the hot cup of coffee. So they grab it from the person. They finish up on the phone. They'd say, okay, yep, perfect. All right, talk to you soon. Then they grab the hot cup of coffee back from the person. Thank you so much. They would grab it back from them. So they hand the person the hot cup of coffee, put them on the spot. The person holds it for a little bit of time, say 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then they take the coffee back and they walk away. Okay, so just a random interaction. Now, obviously, every person they went up to didn't grab it from them, but most people will. Most people will. Out of human instinct, they'll just grab it. The people that grabbed the hot cup of coffee were then approached by different students. So just assume that these people are serving as actors. They grab the hot cup of coffee. They're then approached, right? They're approached 30 minutes later by different students. They go up to those people and they say, hi, we're on behalf of Harvard University and we're doing a case study. If we gave you $20, could we read you one paragraph out of a story and then ask you 3 questions about the character in the paragraph? And people took the $20. They would read the paragraph. Of the people that grabbed the hot coffee, right? Of the people that grabbed the hot coffee, 80% of them had favorable and positive things to say about the character in the story. So they had good things to say about the character when answering the questions about the character, right? So those questions that they were asked were about the character. They had positive things to say about them. They do the same study with different people. Same park, same thing. They go up, one on the phone. Hi, excuse me, can you hold this for me for 1 second? But they hand them a cold cup of coffee. 30 minutes later, they're approached by a different set of actors. Hi, we're doing a case study. If we give you $20 and read you this paragraph, can you answer 3 questions about the character in the paragraph? These people that were handed the cold cup of coffee, 80% of them had negative things to say about the character in the story. So the hot cup of coffee led to 80% positive things. The cold cup of coffee, 80% negative things. So just think about that. Just holding that warm cup of coffee transmitted warm energy into their body, which then created positive thoughts that 30 minutes later, their mood was so affected just by holding a hot cup of coffee for 15 seconds. 30 minutes later, their perception of a fictional character in a story was positive based on just the warmth of that cup of coffee. And then the cold cup of coffee, 30 minutes later, led to negative thoughts. So that's how their mood and energy changed. As something as insignificant as a cup of coffee can do that. So just think about that. So now think about reading negativity on social media while at work. Think about fighting with a family member on the phone, going in and out of work, and then having to go back in and perform your duties. Think about what it does to your mental state. And the reality of it is, you may feel like you're giving it 100%, you're not being affected, but you are. It's impossible not to. Unless you're a sociopath and you don't have the capacity for feelings, then we're talking about a different thing, and I don't think car sales is for you anyway. But the reality of it is, it has to affect you. And you may not think it is. You may feel like you're giving 100%, but really, you're giving like 80% or 70% or 60%. You're kind of capped. It's like having one arm behind your back, and I've said before, like bench pressing with one arm. Yes, I'm giving it 100%, but I have another arm to use, right? So you're handicapping yourself. Energy and attitude is everything. The law of attraction is real. I can go down a rabbit hole about these things. Rob knows, and we talk about this all the time in our training. For me, when I hire someone, I say that there's like 4 things that I need for them to have, right? Number 1 is a positive attitude. Number 1 is a positive attitude. I want them to be aggressive as well. I want them to be open to learning, and I want them to be accountable. Positive attitude, aggressive, open to learning, and accountable. And ultimately, I believe, and this is a shout out to John Luciano from RK Chevy, he taught me this: if you're a good person, we can make you a great employee. If you're a good person, we can make you a great employee. Good person meaning you have a positive attitude. So I think that attitude is everything. A negative attitude is not going to find you anything you're looking for, because let's face it, people don't want to be around negative people. I know I don't. I mean, I keep my distance from them. That's poison leaking into your brain and your being, right? It's like drinking poison. So attitude is everything. It trumps experience. It trumps skill. It trumps talent. All of those things we could teach, and they will happen over time. But your attitude is everything. And, I can't talk about it enough. We've talked about it in a lot of videos. Your emotional intelligence, we'll talk about it in future videos. But great question, Rob. I don't think it's important. I think it's the most important thing. The most important thing. I can't even talk about it enough. It's the most important thing. Your attitude and your energy. Great question, Rob. Attitude, energy, the most important thing. It's got to be positive. It's got to be positive, or ultimately that negativity will catch up to you, and it'll put you in a rut. It'll create negative momentum that you may not be able to climb out of that hole that you put yourself in. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.